For me, the most important thing is the feeling that is evoked by the painting. When I start with colors, certain colors, probably a limited color palette, and then I want to divide the canvas into areas and then work in color. So I'm interested in the colors, the edges of the colors, and where things come together. So there's often a lot of edges in my painting, and the colors, how they interact with each other, where they meet. So I also work layers deep. So in this one, there's many layers underneath here, and then I come across with bigger areas to kind of make it cohesive. It's somewhat of an intuitive process. And sometimes it's hard to know when it's finished. Sometimes I go too far and then I have to pull it back. But it just takes time. And that's basically how I work.
How about the titles? How do you choose the titles?
Oh, the titles are really difficult. This one actually, I just called it Blue Mood because it's sort of blue and moody. But if I were really to think about a title, it would probably take me 2 or 3 weeks to figure out what it really should be called, because it's kind of going back and forth. Yeah, titles are difficult. Some of them, like this other series that I'm working on, I'm calling it the Reed series because it's all showing things kind of growing. That's maybe this one over here. I don't know if you want to take a look at that one. But this one, again, we got the edges, and we've got a limited palette, but to me it's growing, and it looks like bamboo or reeds or something. So I started with, this is probably the second or third one in the series. I saw one, and then I want to keep that same, the verticality and the blending of colors back and forth. It has a kind of feeling of the serenity of reeds growing in a pond. But because it's abstract work, you can't, I'm not going to call it reeds growing in a pond. I call it reeds number 1, and then I've got reeds number 2. So, titles are difficult, though, for me anyway.
Hello, Efren. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the paintings I have in today's show. This is the 12th in a series that was called my Webbot series. And I don't know, I paint, what I'm painting and what I'm interested in is the interface between like our feral natures and living in an urban environment. So there's different levels of that, and I totally, the conflict, yet the community between wild creatures and us living in an environment now. So Webbot means it's an English term, country term, that means spider web. So I did 12 paintings in this series, and I had nurtured a pet spider in my doorway. So that was the inspiration behind this series. So that's why it's called Webbot. And my work has never quite connects. There's always spaces. So when we connect with wild creatures or the wildness, the feralness in ourselves, and within an urban construct, it's never clean. There's an interface between the two of it. So I had done a whole series called Webbot because I was really enjoying my spider webs. So this piece here isn't the beginning of another series I did, my Titania series, and it's a continuation of that as well. It's the different levels that exist with our everyday lives. So there's different levels. We're all living in an urban environment. Yeah, there's different elements that impact us at all times. So that's what I'm doing in this 2 series that you're seeing in this show. I have another piece in the back that's a continuation of that, but that's instrumental to my work, is that disconnect, that connect, that not quite meeting. There's always gaps, the lines never meet. There's always a bit of tension in my work.
Okay, this is a part of a new series that I'm working on, 48 by 48 inches, and I'm working towards the month of May when I'm going to have an individual show. And I'm still working in the geometric abstract form, but more sensitive brushstrokes, I think. And my motivation is looking at the individual in life, sort of finding one's space in life. And this painting I've called The Plan, and I think of it as a going through changes in one's life and how one evolves and life revolves around them, kind of in that space. So that's kind of where it's at for my painting right now. So I'm working with more natural colors and more in tune with nature, but still with bright sparks coming in. So yeah, so that's what I have here. Yeah, so Marjorie, you should come.
I'll talk about my art, no problem. But I won't talk about your art because I can't represent you. So.
No,
That wall is, there's no show. Yep. Like you can't say, so when you go and you stand at the back of the wall, and they have to build walls and sections everywhere inside the show. When they do an art show there, they have all the, they have, I guess they're sliding.
So somebody saw it and liked it, and then someone else